Tonight, Genfo, a thick, warm porridge of the high country, mounded like a small mountain, with a well of spiced oil glowing at its center. From the cold highlands of Amhara and Oromia, a dish older than the country it is cooked in. This is not a dish you hurry. It is the porridge of homecomings, of cold mornings when the mist sits low on the mountains, and of the first meal cooked for a mother who has just given birth. It asks for almost nothing: a little grain, some water, a patient arm, and in return, it gives back warmth and strength. Servings, 4. 15 minutes to prepare, 25 minutes over the fire, 40 minutes from start to table. A cup and a half of toasted sorghum flour, and half a cup of teff, the smallest grain in the world. 4 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a cup of oil for the spice, garlic, ginger, fenugreek, cardamom, turmeric, nigella, and to finish, berbere and mitmida. Begin with the grain. Into a dry skillet over a medium flame, a cup and a half of sorghum flour and half a cup of teff. No oil, no water, only heat. Stir it slow and constant for 5 minutes until it turns fragrant and nutty and just barely golden, but never dark. Now, the spiced oil. Half a cup of oil in a small pan over the lowest heat. Lay in 3 cloves of garlic, sliced ginger, a pinch of fenugreek, 3 bruised pods of cardamom, turmeric, and nigella. Let them steep for 15 slow minutes until the oil turns gold and the kitchen fills with the scent of the highlands. Then strain it clear. Bring 4 cups of water to a rolling boil with a single teaspoon of salt. And now, the moment that decides everything. Take the toasted flour and rain it slowly into the water, whisking, always whisking, so that not one lump can form. The secret, the old cooks say, is speed at the very first touch, and patience for all that follows. Lower the heat, and now you stir. Not for a moment, not for a minute, for 20 long minutes with a heavy wooden spoon. The porridge thickens. It pulls against the spoon. It grows smooth and stiff until it becomes a single cohesive dough. This is why the spoon is chosen with care. The arm tires, but the dish does not forgive a shortcut. So you breathe and you stir. Grease a bowl with a little of the spiced oil. Spoon the hot porridge in, and with wet hands, mold it into a smooth, round dome, a small mountain. And then press a deep well into its center, a hollow, a cup made of the porridge itself, waiting to be filled. Now, the gift. Pour the warm, spiced oil into the well and watch it pool and shine and settle. Sprinkle a spoonful of berbere into the oil and a little mitmita, the fiercer one, red on gold on soft brown. The well glows like an ember. Genfo is finished. History and cultural origins. Long before wheat, before rice, there was barley in these highlands. It is one of the oldest grains our hands have ever farmed, and the roof of Ethiopia is one of the places it first grew tame. For thousands of years it fed the shepherd, the farmer, the child, ground on stone, cooked in a single pot, made into Genfo. And at its heart, the spiced fat. Traditionally, this is niter kibbeh, butter, simmered slow with fenugreek and spice until it turns clear and keeps for months. But the highlands keep many fasts, and so there is an older, humbler way. Yetsum, the oil of fasting. The same spices, the same patience, only oil in the place of butter. That is the well you have poured tonight. There is one table where Genfo matters most. When a baby is born, the women of the house come together. For the new mother, they cook this porridge, thick and hot and rich with the spiced well, to bring her strength back and help her milk come in. It is medicine. It is welcome. It is love, cooked in the shape of a bowl, a dish that is given far more often than it is sold. And still, today, Genfo is not weekday food, hurried and forgotten. It is the breakfast of the coldest mornings, when the family draws close around one bowl. It is served at the birth of a child, at the holidays, and through the long fasts when the oil takes the butter's place. One dome, one well, one spoon, passed from hand to hand. To eat it, you gather close. You break a piece from the edge of the mound and dip it into the glowing well. And you share it the way it has always been shared. Genfo endures because it never tried to impress. It survived famine and cold and the long forgetting of the modern morning. It survives because it was only ever trying to feed the people who loved it, to warm the hands that held the bowl. And the table, at last, is set.